Let's talk about benefiting from the Spirit's power. Considering it is the Spirit who is our helper, our teacher, and our guide, there is no question we are infinitely better off when we rely on His empowerment and not on our own feeble resources. Moody, in his messages about the Holy Spirit, spoke of at least 2 ways to benefit from His power. First, our work is made easier. Because the Holy Spirit has supernatural power and always works in full harmony with God's will, we will find our work of ministry much easier when we depend upon His leading. We won't find ourselves inadvertently going against the grain of God's desire for us. Moody said, "How easy it is to work for God when we are filled with the Spirit. His service is so sweet, so delightful. He is not a hard master." People talk about their being overworked and breaking down. It is not so. It is over-worry and care that wears people out. Why do so many workers break down? Not from overwork, Moody says, but because there has been friction of the machinery. There hasn't been enough of the oil of the Spirit. Great engines have their machinery so arranged that where there is friction, there is oil dropping on it all the time. It is a good thing for Christians to have plenty of oil. Without this power, Moody said, our work will be drudgery. With it, it becomes a joyful task, a refreshing service. And number 2, our teaching is more effective. Moody also pointed out that our preaching and teaching are positively affected when we are filled with the Spirit and walking with Him. In John chapter 14, verse 26, Jesus said, "The Holy Spirit will teach you all things." And in John chapter 15, verse 26, He said, "The Spirit will testify of me." Thus, the Spirit is our teacher. As such, wouldn't it make sense that we who are imperfect human vessels depend on the Spirit's perfect power and guidance? Here are some of the connections Moody made between the Spirit and our speaking ministry. Moody said, "Our gospel that we are preaching is a supernatural gospel, and we have got to have supernatural power to preach it. If a man is not filled with the Spirit," he said, "he will never know how to use the book." He also said, we are told that this is the sword of the Spirit, and what is an army good for that does not know how to use its weapons? I love that one. He also said the gospel proclamation cannot be divorced from the Holy Spirit, and unless He attends the word in power, vain will be the attempt in preaching it. He also said human eloquence or persuasiveness of speech are the mere trappings of the dead if the living Spirit be absent. Indeed, without the illuminating help of the Spirit, we would not be able to understand the Scriptures, much less be able to teach them to others.